Hello, my name is Molly. I grew up in Phoenix. In high school, I was overweight and I refused to wear makeup, so I was picked on a lot, especially by the fucking popular kids, the jocks and cheerleaders. I was a depressed lesbian, but it was the 80s, so I couldn't date other girls, and Prozac hadn't been invented yet, so I was just wallowing in misery. I tried to fit in, and it worked. I even got a boyfriend. That's him leaning over me in the picture behind me. We're enjoying a Budweiser together on spring break. You can see how much I liked him. Actually, he was a really nice guy. And I was doing everything I was supposed to do, dating a dude, wearing an Izod, but of course, my life still sucked. I mean, the teen years sucked for everyone, but at least the straight kids were actually turned on by the people they were dating. Meanwhile, I had no lesbian sex to cheer me up, so my entire universe looked extremely bleak. And the other kids didn't want to talk about all the misery surrounding us, so I started writing about it. Here's an example from my Hulk Hogan pro wrestler notebook. Which should have totally outed me as not straight. So here we go. I'd like to write a book about the way I feel about things. If I don't write it now, the passion will be gone. I would start each chapter with a poem, then an essay on these important subjects: school social structure, jocks, teens portrayed wrongly, the future, war, hell, and the world situation. I'm still not sure what the world situation is, but it was very important to me back then. Before I wrote my magnum opus, I had to get all my homework done, including this letter they made us write to our parents for school open house day. Dear Mom and Dad, even though I hate school, I'm having a pretty good year. Even though I have to ride on a crowded bus at 6:30 a.m. with a bunch of jerks, at least I'm not ditching school as much as I would like to. You'll be going through my classes the way I do, but you only have to stay for 10 minutes, and you won't get any homework, and you won't have to write any big required headings with your last name first and September spelled out. The lunch here sucks. You'll probably get something better than I do. And here's how I signed the letter. I don't know what to put here. Molly. So with that super cheery letter off to my parents, I returned to working on my book. I wanted each chapter to start with a poem, so here's a poem I wrote for one of them. As much as I hated the other kids, there was a certain set of adults that I hated even more. So this one goes like this. Teachers. The rules and concepts they try to teach obviously don't matter to me. It's bullshit, can't they see? This was not my idea. They try so hard to relate to you. Can't they see the system's screwed? Hurry through homework to make the grade. No time to learn, it's much too late. Biology and geometry won't matter when the world's destroyed. What happens then? So party like each day's your last. This miserable world is going fast. So yeah, I hated high school, and at the same time, this was the 80s with the Cold War threat of nuclear war from Russia. And I figured it would just be my luck that the apocalypse would come down right when I was trapped in a high school classroom. And so I wrote this poem called Everything Will Happen at Once. But even I thought my own poem sucked because I wrote up in the corner, this one's kind of dumb. Trash it? So yeah, I wanted to party like each each day was my last, but no one invited me to spring break parties because I was always saying and writing stuff like this poem. Extinction of all living. Blotting out of the sun. The buttons pushed by a fool to put a stop to commie rule. Everyone contracting AIDS or dying from the poisons we made. Acid rain kills all in sight as humans board the final flight. Water, who will have the last drop? Answered as the world's rotation stops. Earthquakes, tidal waves, hurricanes rage. This pitiful world has come of age. Volcanoes all overflow, endless lava from below. Now there is no more oxygen. Time for darkness to begin. So I was writing this kind of stuff in private because no one wanted to hear it. But then one day I saw that our school newspaper published an editorial from the jocks who were whining that no one was coming to their football games. So I knew I had to speak up. So this is my letter to the editor from the December 18, 1987 issue of the Sunny Slope Viking Views newspaper. Dear editor, in your December sports editorial, you stated that our school lacks spirit, support, and a winning attitude. Your editorial took the side of the hard-working jock practicing every day only to be ignored by apathetic non-athletes. It is sad that students in other social groups don't bother to attend games, but when the athletes isolate themselves within a clique, they invite the alienation of those they exclude. It is foolish for them to continue in this manner since they're the ones that need an audience, while the non-athletes don't need the jocks at all. Molly McCloy, Sr. All of my negativity finally paid off. I was a folk hero. My schoolmates were thrilled that someone was finally speaking up against the jocks. At least my only friend Michelle was thrilled, and her friend Amanda, so that made 3 of us. My older brother was the only other person that would hang out with me, so I dropped acid with him over spring break, which cheered me up for a minute. And at first I stayed positive for this journal entry about tripping. Look at the vast blue. I'm talking about the sky. You can't see through it, but it doesn't stop you with one flat dimension either. I guess that's hard to understand. I say a lot of things that people don't understand. If I want you to understand anything, it's that we, people of my age group, aren't all mindless cloned trendies. We have problems. So now you can tell this acid trip is going south. Hell, we're all fucking victims. The stress level of even a casual environment like Phoenix is amazing. Fuck you parents, adults, and your fucking midlife crises. Why don't you take a look around a minute? High school kids have the most stress of anyone. Not only do we have the social stress, high expectations, school expectations, and future phobias, but we have your fucking stress from your job and unhappy sex life projected onto us on top of it all. We aren't all little cookie cutter happy days characters. Like I said, we've got problems. Remember that school open house letter that I wrote to my parents where I didn't know what to put for the closing? Clearly I should have put this journal entry there. Finally I had the missing piece. So I kept writing, and during my senior year I won the annual school-wide poetry contest. So, you know, even if the other kids were tired of my depressive complaining and the teachers couldn't see that the system was screwed, they could see something valuable in my poems. And this vote of confidence meant a lot to me. I never did write that book about high school, but I did write a book now called 9 Grudges, The Spiteful Origins of the Happiest Dyke on Earth. And it's coming out from Red Hen Press in 2026. And thank you. I've got some pretty good cards if you want one of the picture of me in my Judas Priest t-shirt when I was 13. And I think we have a QR code for it, so come talk to me about it if you're interested. Thank you.